love the new album.
Thank you,
We're gonna
Kelly.
dive into it, but I have to start with like what was the inspiration for this one? It feels kind of pointed in a situation, like it's a specific chapter going on, like in your life.
Yeah, because I wanted to write about these different experiences that women have over the course of their lives, like what you're like when you're younger, what you like when you first get married, when you have a baby, when you have these changes in your body.
Is this? Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to have that sort of narrative arc of what that experience could be like. But also it's because I feel like through songwriting, I've really started to find my own voice, literally and metaphorically, and say the things that I felt that I could say.
I've heard you say like, well, I found songwriting later in life, so and you say it's, whatever it is right now, but just so you know, like I've been writing songs since I was like a teenager, and it's always brand new. I feel like it's always, because we're always changing, right? So the different chapters. So I feel like even if you hadn't started songwriting later or whatever, or showing us that ability later in life, I feel like it would be different anyway.
But that's the thing, but our business doesn't really allow for that. Like there was
they're no fun.
No, there was no role model for anybody who had started songwriting later in life and started singing that you could say, oh, in music that happens, because in different forms of art, there's lots of women who have done these things, but you judge the work just based on, it's a painting, it's a book, and you don't really know how old they are or what they look like or anything. You just judge it on that. So it was a little scary to be able to try this thing and have it be something that was new for me and new for everybody else. And there wasn't really anybody to look at to go, well, they did it, so I know it can be done. It was like out there taking chances, I guess.
I know, but what a leader. That's what I'm saying too. I remember, and I saw you perform, and it was at the Carlisle? Is that what it was?
Yes, I love that you came to that.
First of all, I'd never heard of that hotel or that venue. And literally just in there, I was like, I want to play here. She was like, I want to do a show here.
I'm going to come and be your assistant for that show.
Oh my God. Or jump on stage. I was like, it was just such a beautiful setting.
It's
and
gorgeous.
I think specifically especially certain songs, I feel like in a bigger environment you can lose messaging, or you can lose the actual point and lyric of the song. Like and it's just about the vibe. And in that
so
setting,
intimate there.
Yes.
Right? Like
but that's what I feel like listening to this album. It's almost like after you did those shows, did it change how you were writing? Because that intimacy is, you're right here.
You're right there. You could be watching because it's a dinner club. You're like, are you going to eat that fry? Because sometimes, I mean, they're right there with their plate of food in front of them. And
but you're
like,
also very witty. I know, you're very witty. So during the show, I was like, I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm having such a good time. No, it does force you to be like more in the moment. Yeah.
You know, I know that you do this because you are one of the best songwriters that I know of. And you're honestly one of the best singers that ever existed. Am I lying? I think not.
You're kind. You're kind. You came to the show. Obviously, you're kind of a fan. It's like.
But there is an intimacy to it and a truthfulness, right? So that is sort of what really this album was about, and just trying to get to that, to get to that truth and that vulnerability.
I love your mother because I always get excited when I hear a song, and we've both been around for a minute, so we've heard a lot of like, this is beautiful.
Oh, my
But we've been around for a minute to where you feel like you've heard every message. You feel like you've heard, but when you hear a song and you're like, oh my God, I've never heard that perspective or anyone singing about that. Like that's so rare, I feel like. And the whole thing of like seeing your mother, because my mother, I don't know about yours, my mother was very reserved. Like it's hard to still get it. It's Fort Knox.
Yeah.
It's like,
they were so private.
Yes.
Like that generation of women. And I feel like, I don't know how old your mom is, but I was like on that cusp
75.
of okay, I had my mom's generation that was really traditional, and then I'm here in this generation, and then ahead of me there was like Gloria Steinem and all these incredible feminists telling us you can use your voice, you can fight for your rights, you can have something to say. And so I feel very inspired by that, but there were still so many things I couldn't ask my mom. I didn't ask my mom. There was this, for example, this just came up the other day. There was this poem that was in our house called The Desiderata. I don't even know who wrote it. And it had this first line, which was, go placidly amid the noise and the haste and remember what peace there will be in silence. And I thought, how did my mom, this Greek lady, what about that responded resonated with her. And I wish I could have asked her, why? Who gave you that poem? Where did you see it? And it stayed with her, like when she moved, until she died. And then when she died, I took it with me, and now it's in my office and home.
Yeah.
And I love that because I want to know, what was she thinking? What did she want to say? Who was she in some ways? And then also the reverse, because you have kids, like, do they really know us?
Oh
Like,
my God, my kids don't even know I was. They'll see a video of me and they're like, well, my son was like, "You were hot, Mom," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "You know what word you don't use? Past tense." I was like, "What?" I was like, but he sees something and he's like, he just does not see me as that girl in the video, and obviously. And it's so funny though. That's what I love about your mother. It's like, even with my mom and I are so different. And it's just like, it makes you, that's what I love about the song. It really makes you think. I like that.
It does.
And it makes me honestly like want to call her and get in Fort Knox and figure out stuff that maybe, she doesn't want to talk about, but it's nice to get to know her as a woman myself.
As a woman, and who she was, and what her fears were, and what were her strengths, and what were her struggles. That's the thing. It's like, one day our moms are going to be gone, and we're going to wish we'd asked them the question.
Yeah. So this song, totally about guilt. In the song Jury of One, right?
Yes.
What's your relationship with guilt, and how do you feel like it's changed since you were younger? Because when I'm in my 20s, I have a different relationship with it than I have now.
Yeah. I still have guilt. It doesn't go anywhere. And guilt has a twin sister, apology. Because it's like you could be guilty for something and then you're immediately apologizing and saying you're sorry, because there's always that being in the middle of, like, if you're working, you feel guilty that you're not at home, or you're not with someone who needs you. If you're with your kids and your family, you can be thinking that, oh my gosh, my work is, I got to get to that thing, and then you're up late at night because you're trying to get to those things.
And then you're tired.
Yeah, and then you're tired, but I also feel like I think that's just human nature, maybe, or maybe it's female nature. I don't know.
Well, I think we're brought up like that too.
We're brought up to it, and I feel like I say I'm sorry all the time. Like, somebody could kick me in the shins, and I'd be like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
My knee was
I'm
in
so
the
sorry
way.
I got in your way.
Exactly.
We're
exactly.
identical. And a friend actually said to me once, and I was like, now I try not to do it. They were like, you say it so much, though, that it loses its value.
Right.
They're like, I don't even know if you're ever sorry because you say it so much. And I'm like,
apology?
Oh, no. I was like, wait, what? But I'm so used to it. I think I just, however or whatever in our childhood, something happened where you feel like you're just having to apologize all the time.
Yeah. And
so
it's
Jury of One, it kind of addresses that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And it really is that feeling of like, okay, is that ever going to end? I don't know if it ever ends. And I'm not talking about real apologies where you really have to say you're sorry for something.
Yeah.
But it's more that feeling of like, gosh, am I ever going to get over that hump of like feeling not guilty for just taking care of myself or doing something that you love to do, taking that little bit of time. And I don't know, I think there's a difference between selfishness
I was gonna say selflessness and selfishness,
and in selflessness and self-care and all of those things. So it's sort of finding the right places for where all those things fit. Because guilt is also a good thing. Like, if you're doing something really bad, you should have guilt about it.
Yeah. But most of the time, I think it's hard for most people too that are very selfless people, and they've been taught to kind of have a servant's heart their whole life.
Yes.
It's hard to get that self-care.
Yeah,
and
for
put that,
sure.
or I've been told by a therapist.
Yeah.
But anyway, working on it.
Exactly.
But tell us about the tour, because I've seen your show. What is this tour like?
I'm so excited. Well, this tour is going to be a lot of this new album, Sound of a Woman.
Yeah.
And I am doing it in a slightly different way. I'm adding some strings to it, some BGVs. So it's going to be as close to the album as that I can get, but a little bit more intimate.
Yeah. It's beautiful, though. Those string player, people don't realize. And then the talented singers that you bring out, the singers that come out on
like
our stage, it's
Jessie
insane.
and
We have
gang
moments
over
in the
there.
show just to highlight them, just because it is insane how talented people are.
Yeah,
And so
it
it
is.
brings up the level of, like, it allows you to explore as well. If they're
Exactly.
holding it down, it allows you to explore a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's just a gift. I don't know. They have their own beautiful, unique talents that they bring to it. Whenever, before a tour, a show, I always do a little circle. I'm sure you do too. And I always thank the musicians for bringing their gifts, because you never know who's going to hear something
totally
out
do
there.
that, Rita.
Yeah. separated at birth.
I'm usually peeing right before I go out, and I'm running on at this point. I used to do that. We had our special handshakes, and now I'm like, yeah, totally me too, Rita. Usually, I'm always afraid. I don't know if it's age, but I'm always afraid I'm gonna have to pee.
Oh
on
my
stage.
gosh. Because we're drinking
Like an
water
old
all
man
day
bladder.
long.
Yeah.
Water and tea all day.
I know. I know. That's nice though, that you take a moment, breathe with them, and have it. We're gonna start that back up. We're gonna start that back up. Totally.
Definitely do it.
Wait, speaking of like behind the scenes of what are you doing, like I'm weird backstage. It's not rock and roll at all. But your tour essentials are herbal tea, my special bedazzled microphone, which is my favorite.
Gotta have that.
It's the energy of it. A variety of headphones and earbuds, so I can listen to music in different ways, which people don't realize.
Yes.
It really does sound different in your car. I love it too. Going to your car.
Absolutely.
Songwriting journal, because you never know when it's inspired. And actually, I've written a lot on the road. Do you write when you're on the road?
Yes.
And it's kind of upsetting because you can't stop, but you're like, I need to go and do a show.
Right, exactly. But I want to finish it.
Yeah.
We're just almost there. Let's just keep going.
Oh, we're the same. This one is pastil lozenges to coat my throat. I love pastils, but there is, this
What
baby,
is that?
let me talk to you about it.
What is that?
This.
Is that Fisherman's Friend?
This is, no. This is Thieves. It's the company Thieves. I don't get paid by these people.
Yes.
But these are, it's the cough ones from Thieves.
Oh.
The cough lozenges.
Oh, really?
This. It's like Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron all got together and made it. It's like if you're struggling with anything, like right now, allergies are bad for me right now. And I pop one of those babies in. Sometimes I'll risk it, the choking on it on stage, and I'll still have it in my mouth. It is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
I will thank you for this and take these on the road.
They're the cough ones.
I will show you when I'm on the road.
If I would have had a bag, this looks cheap. I just gave you one.
No,
but
this is beautiful.
It looks like I'm rationing, but I didn't have a bag. I would have given you a full bag. But
I love this.
They're
Thieves.
my favorite things ever.
Thank
anyway,
you, Kelly.
It's awesome.
This is really good.
It's always awesome to see. You look beautiful.
You, Kelly. I just
want
to say one thing before we go.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for the years that you've been doing your show. I want to thank you for literally changing the game when it came to daytime television. The fact that you love music, that you have brought so much music to daytime, that you have shared with us your voice, your gifts, and everyone else's, and your incredible band. I really want to thank you because it has made a big change in my life. So thank you, Kelly.
Oh my gosh!
It really is.
I'm like, shut it off. It's okay. Thank you. We need another quick break, y'all. Sound of a Woman is available now wherever you stream your music. You can also find Sound of a Woman tour tickets online right now.